Hello again. About 85% of people in Britain are white, which means that roughly 1 in 6 belong to a visible minority, being black, Indian, Chinese and so on. The numbers of those minorities are very small. Black people make up just 3% of the population, for instance. Nevertheless, black people and those of South Asian origin seem to pop up far more often visually than in a ratio of just 1 in 6. Indeed, a quick glance at the advertisements on the television would suggest that at least half the British population was black. The BBC seemed to be especially keen on black people, shoehorning them into dramas as important characters, featuring them prominently in documentaries and other non-fiction programmes. A lot of people have remarked that this process of giving people of colour a much larger role than their actual percentages would indicate as being representative of the population seems to have reached its zenith in the latest series of The Apprentice, which is something like a talent contest for aspiring business people. It's screened on BBC. The main character is Alan Sugar, who is of course a self-made businessman, an entrepreneur, a genuine entrepreneur one might say. He is assisted by a black man called Tim Campbell, and I am a little puzzled about this fellow because as far as I can make out, he has never actually set up or run a business himself. In fact, I can't make out at all what he does. He is or has been a UK government advisor, a social enterprise entrepreneur and youth employment ambassador. But what sort of business he is actually in seems to be obscure. The Radio Times published a piece 3 days ago headed "Who is Tim Campbell?", which promised to shed a little light on the matter, but didn't. And if I didn't know any better, I would have said that the Radio Times were being deliberately misleading. We are told that, and I quote, "In 2012, Tim received an MBE for Enterprise Culture and currently runs his own digital marketing agency, Marketing Runners." A quick look at Companies House website tells us this is simply untrue. On June 29th last year, that is something over 6 months ago, the company was dissolved following a compulsory strike-off. Interestingly, this was the second time that it had been subject to this procedure, the first being in 2017. Whatever else Tim Campbell may be doing, we can be quite sure he is not running a digital marketing agency called Marketing Runner. Either Tim Campbell or the Radio Times, or possibly both, are trying to pull the wool over our eyes. In the description to this video, I give links both to the piece from the Radio Times and also the entry at Companies House, which lists the compulsory strike-off. I have also looked at the Wikipedia page about Tim Campbell, and it says that, and I quote, "Since February 2012, Campbell has been a member of Estate Office Property Consultants, a boutique London property investment and development agency, where he focuses on investments and acquisitions for high net worth individuals and organisations seeking prime property opportunities. In 2016, Campbell co-founded Marketing Runners Limited, a bespoke digital marketing agency in London." We know the Marketing Runners bit is false, and a look at the Meet the Team page on Estate Office Property Consultants doesn't show any sign of Tim Campbell either. I have an awful suspicion that he is on the programme The Apprentice primarily because the BBC thinks that it looks good to have a black man as second in command. I'm prepared to be proved wrong about this. I'm inviting viewers to tell me if I am wrong. There seem to be 16 contestants in the new series, and no fewer than 8 of them belong to visible minorities. Seriously, this is more than 3 times as many as one would expect if those on this show were present in the same proportions as the general population. Why is that? A quarter of the people appearing in this series are either black or Muslim, which is a bit weird. Add to them a few Asian guys and a Chinaman, and the lineup honestly makes it look as though white people are on the verge of being a minority in Britain, rather than comprising 85% of the population. Really, I would be curious to know two things. The first is what business Tim Campbell has ever set up and run. In other words, what kind of entrepreneur is he? Obviously, he has been a social enterprise entrepreneur. This suggests that he has set up a business. What was it, and was it successful? Why did the Radio Times try and mislead people about his background? I'm genuinely intrigued by this because he has apparently been awarded an MBE for being an entrepreneur and advised the former Mayor of London on the subject. The only thing I can't find out is what he actually did in this business line. The second point is about the ethnicity of the contestants on the Apprentice. Did the BBC make a conscious decision that visible minorities would be greatly overrepresented? Or was this pure chance? It just happened that those applying to go on the programme happened to be at least half belonging to ethnic minorities.